So, how I went from playing World of Warcraft to becoming a millionaire. Stay tuned. What's up, everybody? This is BC. Welcome back. If it's your first time to my channel, I welcome you. I decided to put this particular video on my second channel versus my first one. My first one has accumulated, 150,000 subscribers, but it's more real estate, sales, and mindset and that kind of stuff. So it really didn't mix well with it. And I figured for my new channel, it would be a good addition because we're a lot more open here and we can kind of do what we want. So did I actually play World of Warcraft? And the answer is yes. A lot of you look at me as this meathead athlete who now turned real estate guru and sales and mindset coach. And that's all true and good stuff. But back in the day, I was an avid video game player. Every once in a while, even though I don't really have time now, I still, from time to time jump on and play some video games, which I'll talk about in the end a little bit. But, I was an avid gamer. I played Call of Duty. I played Halo back in the day. I remember us in high school, we would sit down and, huddle up and play Halo. With the Xboxes, and we would play the split screen, the 4 screens, and that evolved. I always was somebody who was more drawn towards RPG games and taking a character like you do in World of Warcraft and building it up, leveling him up and making him stronger and killing things and getting new gear and new weapons. Like that, to me, just like I'm doing in my real life now with myself, was always fascinating to me, right? I enjoy that aspect of it, and that's why that genre, the RPG, role-playing game genre, for me was always the most exciting and the most enticing, and I would get sucked in. There would be times where I'd be playing World of Warcraft and I'd be leveling my guy up. And to give you guys the whole story and background and then transitioning into the rest of the video, I think in 2006 or 7, I was still playing college basketball. And that's when I picked up World of Warcraft and started playing. It was right around the time that the Burning Crusade expansion came out, and I played a warrior, and I leveled him up, and that was my experience with the retail version. Later on, a couple years later, when I was finishing up my basketball career, I have a lot of injuries I was dealing with, and I was on the tail end of my career, is when I picked it back up, but I played on a private server where it was the Wrath of the Lich King. Right, that was the expansion, and I ended up playing an orc warrior. I got him obviously to level 80. I cleared all the raids with my guild, the Ice Crown Citadel, ICC. We did Ruby Sanctum, 10-man, 25 heroic on both, and I geared up my orc warrior to the maximum. I think his gear score was like 6.5 or 6.6, something like that. I had a Shadow Morn. I pretty much had all the best gear, heroic, warrior set for the PvE portion and raiding. I had the Wrathful PvP set because I had done arenas with a friend, and we got up to like 24 or 2,500 in rating. It was me and a paladin healer. So for those of you who do know the game and are familiar with it, those specs and all those little terms that I'm talking about. And it was fun. It was really fun. But at the end of the day, as you know, a lot of those video games, they suck you in. And at the time, I was dwindling near the end of my basketball career, especially when I played Wrath of the Lich King was when I was the most into the game. And I noticed that it was kind of like a coping mechanism for me because my real life was kind of unraveling. This dream of me being in the NBA, because of my injuries and surgeries and not passing physicals, it started weighing on me mentally. So World of Warcraft, an extensive playing and overplaying of it, was almost like an escape for me because I could build that character where I found myself in real life almost feeling like I had hit a wall and injuries were stopping me, right? And it really affected me, and they still affect me to this day as far as my physical capabilities. I'm still really athletic and explosive, just I went down a couple notches. And at that level, when you're playing at the professional level, NBA level, a couple notches can take you from being a top recruit and really good to being a run-of-the-mill athlete, compared to some of those monsters that they have playing. So, we fast forward, and I played for, I want to say, a year and a half or 2 years at least, because that was right when I finished my basketball career around 2010. I started getting my real estate license in 2012, ended up getting it in the middle or end of 2013. So for a good 2.5 years there, I just geeked out on World of Warcraft, and I played it a lot. And it was a fun game, and I think to this day people can still play it, you can still enjoy it. I just think it's getting to the point now where their lives get consumed by the game, and that's a message I want to talk about in the end a little bit. So Now that you've heard that, let's transition into the part about me becoming a millionaire. Well, for those of you who don't know, I ended up getting my real estate license in 2013, and the rest is history. I just completely told myself, hey, you know, I can get back to playing video games at some point, but right now, for the next couple years, I need to buckle down. I need to focus on my life and get my shit together. And that's what I did. So I left, you know, I was playing WoW at the time and a little bit of Diablo 3 because it had just come out in 2012. And I said, hey, I need to figure this thing out. So I got into real estate, just dedicated myself to improving my communication, right? I started doing video and social media and putting stuff on YouTube, right? My main channel has 150,000 subscribers now. I started growing my real estate business. I started focusing on my sales skills and really studying, reading books, you know? And, you know, you fast forward now, I run a successful real estate team. I'm considered a very, very good public speaker, but I've put in my time. I travel and speak nationally and internationally. I've spoken with the guys from Million Dollar Listing, LA and New York several times now, 4 or 5 times I think at this point. I've met virtually all of them except for Frederick from New York. Let's see, I have a coaching program with over 300 students that are all new entrepreneurs, veterans, real estate, non-real estate, my Modern Success program. My YouTube channel makes revenue. I own 5 investment properties that I've bought as far as real estate, 4 in Texas that I bought at the tax deed auctions, and 1 duplex that I own here in LA that I rent out. So I have an investment portfolio of 5 properties. I'm with eXp Realty, and I brought in a ton of agents there, and we have the revenue share, so that's another revenue stream for me. And I've built multiple revenue streams, and last year I ended up making just under $800,000 in income. And my goal this year is to do 1.2, 1.3 net. I'm talking about net, not gross, net, right? So if you total up all my assets and my income, I'm well into the millionaire status, especially with just assets minus liabilities, which is how I originally categorized being a millionaire myself. And I hit that, I think, in 2017, middle of 2017, okay? So pretty cool, right? Long story, right? I don't want to get into too many details, but I want to transition into the final part of the video here because I don't want to make it too long. And if this is a multiple part series you would like me to continue, please leave a comment. How did I actually make that transition? Well, there's something you need to realize. If you're watching this and you're somebody who plays a video game, you're inspired by the story, or you find yourself stuck in something, video game, whatever it is. You know, I look at myself, and this is how I looked at it to use it as an advantage. You know, many of you who are playing video games are doing something from an addictive standpoint, we can say, right? Where our personalities get the better of us and it's like almost a compulsion and we find ourselves getting sucked into it, not having control. You have an ability there to focus on something that you enjoy, that you can get lost in, and you can build it, and you have this drive to stay up all night and do all these other things, sit there for a raid, you know, for 4 or 5 hours, dying over and over, but you still stick with it, okay? All I did, ladies and gentlemen, was take that force, that thing that I had for basketball, that I had for video games apparently, and move it into focusing it on myself and building my life. Because at the end of the day, an excessive use of video games and those kind of things, though it's cool to entertain yourself, you don't get anywhere. When we become #1 World of Warcraft player, there's no cash prizes, there's no reward for it. It's a little different now because you can stream and all that. But if you really do not want to dedicate your life to games and being a content creator and that kind of stuff, and it's just a compulsion, take that thing, take that spark, take that drive, take that focus that you have that's laser focus. It's actually a skill. It's just being misdirected and directed towards something you want to enjoy and experiment. Real estate started as an experiment for me. I experimented for a while. I just looked at real estate before I got in and said, there's something here. I know I can do well in this. It's not a corporate bullshit 9-to-5 job. I don't have to answer to anybody. I can put in all the fucking work that I want to put in and get ahead. I only get paid commission. I don't get paid hourly. So if I super perform, I get super paid. There's no ceiling. I can grow it as much as I want. Now, is it going to be difficult? Of course, but anything in life worth having is difficult. How about for you gamers who raid that dungeon over and over, or who get stuck on a certain spot to figure something out and it takes you a week to figure it out of grinding and doing that? You're willing to do it in the video game. Why don't you do it for yourself in your life on the outside in reality? Because then now I'm in a position where I can play video games if I want, and I do. It's minimal because I've rewired my mind in a sense, and you know, when I'm playing a game for more than 30 minutes, I'm kind of like, what am I doing? So my tastes have changed, but I still get on there and play Call of Duty every once in a while. I still log on World of Warcraft every once in a while, maybe like once or twice a year, but I still do it. It's just minimal, okay? But now I'm in a position where I can do that if I want, and it's not to my detriment. It's not killing me. It's not destroying me. It's not making me unsuccessful. It's just something that I've been able to create through my hustle for the last 6 years or so, 6.5, to be able to create this life that I want, where I can enjoy a video game from time to time if I want. And the beauty of it is when you get to this side of it, you're not really gonna wanna play video games, okay? I'm playing a little bit. I'll log on like a World of Warcraft private server, or hop on Call of Duty on PS4. But like I said, it's limited. It's not like it was before where I get sucked in and I didn't enjoy shutting off the game and going back to my reality. Now I enjoy my reality so much and what I built and done with myself and my life that I don't really want to go in a game. And if I do, I really enjoy certain aspects of the game. Like, I admire it. Like, wow, somebody created this character, somebody created this world. What kind of imagination did they have? This is cool. So I get lost in it more in that sense versus just building this character who I think is me instead of building the real me. Okay, so if you would like a continuation of the series, go ahead and let me know. Hopefully this gave you some insight about me and my life. Again, I'm not totally against video games. I'm just against people losing their lives in video games. And for those of you who are in that position, you have something there. You have a vital tool that a lot of people don't have, with that ability to overfocus and just lose yourself in something. If you direct it correctly, you can do whatever you want, believe me, because I'm an example of that, okay? If you talk to people before and they would talk to you about who I was, my personality, and what my potential was, nobody would have told you, oh, Bryan could do real estate and do really well. They would have told you the opposite. So I was shunned for doing what I was gonna do, and I'm still successful and growing every single day, and you can do the same thing, okay? With that said, if you guys enjoy, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check out everything else. Check out my main channel. I do have coaching and all other stuff you can check in the description as well. I would love to hear what you're doing right now. If you are playing a game or whatever it is, leave a comment below and let's get in touch, as I just want my community to keep growing on my personal channel and my main channel of people just looking to empower each other, support each other, and take it to the next level ultimately, okay? So this is BC signing off. I'll see you guys on the next video.